At this time, we'll have take some brief questions. If you would certainly identify your affiliation, that would be most helpful and appropriate. I saw your hand first. Yes.
I wonder, Dr. Omeish, my name is Amy Gardner with the Washington Post. Can you describe in your own words the context of the remarks that appeared in the video that have been at least a part of the cause of this controversy?
As explained by the comments of several of the speakers, one of them was, in fact, in the rejection of the war against Lebanon and the conflict that resulted and the severe response that Israel has taken on the state of Lebanon. And it was part of comments that clearly was very much against the destruction of the infrastructure of a country, which led to civilian casualties and led to creating conditions that would be very severe for anybody involved in the conflict. The other comments were done in a context of a rally which was done pre-September 11th in 2000, I believe, and it was related to giving support to people who are under occupation and who are under severe conditions of repression. And the usage of the word jihad was in a general way to indicate the willingness, the intent, the perseverance to remain steadfast in facing difficulties that are insurmountable or against many odds. And so it was in that context. It was not a call for violence. It was never any condoning of terrorism or any violent acts. And our positions on issues that may seem controversial or even questionable have been very clear from the beginning. And it's not one time, it's not two times, it is practically every time we speak. It's out of the pulpit in the mosque, it's in front of the media, it's when I discuss it in schools, it's a consistent, based on principles, based on belief. I have the sermon to give today at Darul Hijrah at 1:30. You will hear the same consistent message to my parish and to the attendees, and it's something that we will continue to drive. I mean, there's no doubt about it. Yes.
Doctor, if you don't mind, some of the proponents, people who support you, have even said, yes, he certainly has the right, this is a freedom of speech issue. Even those people, though, say, because you have become a public figure and are on a commission for the board, you have to be careful with your comments. Do you find that that's difficult? I mean, do you accept the fact that even though you may have very close ties to a cause, you have to curb your language because there is going to be criticism?
I think the fact that it's based on principle, irrespective of circumstance, has made it, quite frankly, very easy for me. I'm a student for international relations. I've been involved in addressing conflict, issues that are of causes that I deem causes versus what I deem is societal affairs. And I've never found a difficulty in addressing those matters in any different respect. I think I understand the fact that there is things that need to be done in order to expand the ability to interpret, what's said. Meaning, this is a calling for the pluralism of the society, the inclusion of people of different opinions, calling upon the First Amendment. These rights are very important for us to set the stage for the dialogue, so that things cannot be misunderstood. But the fact of the matter is, as long as you follow a principle, and for us it's based on our Islamic values, grounded in grounded in the Constitution and the principles of our country, we find no difficulty really aligning them and saying the same thing all the time, in every place, and in every context that we're facing. Yes.
Two brief questions. Has the governor expressed any regret? You say that this was a resignation on your part. He did not ask you to resign?
No, in fact, it was a mutual decision that we both reached together. I received a friendly communication from his office, and we discussed the importance of the commission and its potential future. And I was present in the first meeting in Richmond on the 25th, and I noticed and I certainly felt the palpable polarity that exists within the General Assembly and the potential for divisiveness within the Commission. I believe in the cause of the Commission. I think it's an excellent and a very important Commission, and one of the great assets of what the Governor Kane has done. And so we mutually reached the conclusion that it is best for the work of the commission not to be distracted. The last thing we need was an issue that will take away the potential for this commission. We need this commission to be successful. We need it to work. And so we, along with Kate Henley and the governor, we basically said it is best that I submit my resignation. I will address the allegation, the smear campaigns. I don't have a problem doing that, but I don't want it done in the context of the governor having to deal with the controversy and really distracting the very good work of the commission.
A brief follow-up on, have you
Very
gotten
brief.
any fallout at the hospital as you're working in Nova? Has anyone?
It's interesting because you guys didn't get me yesterday because I was literally in surgeries all day and all night, and as Mahdi mentioned, I did come in my scrubs and meet with the guys in the office and then went back. And it's interesting because I did receive words of support, not knowing as much how much of the coverage it has received. I mean, it was a bit of a surprise to me. My pager was literally going off, and it wasn't for medical reasons, it was more for these interviews. So I did engage actually my colleagues. In fact, I always take the initiative of engaging others because I do realize that there is a climate of fear, there's a climate of suspicion, or there's even a concern that exists, and Muslims, and we train our membership for this in the sense that we've got to take the higher road. We do realize that there is challenges that we have to overcome, and the way we do it is by remain principled, but engage and reach out. And so I did part of that. I did. My colleagues and anesthesiologists yesterday came up and gave me good words of wisdom and good words of encouragement. I think there were others that maybe were taken aback a little bit, and I took the forward step of engaging them and kind of say, did you hear the news? What do you think? This is what I think. Things of that sort. But I think that's a standard, and in fact, it's the way we will conduct business at all times. Please.
I'm with Associated Press. I think you had mentioned, like you said, that the comments on these tapes really aren't any different than anything that Muslim American society has been saying for years and years about these things. So I get the impression, like you say, that this objection, the smear campaign you're talking, is really people who object to your the organization and your views, and you'll hear different things. So just to sort of be clarified, when you talk about, you obviously don't condone terrorism. I say one man's terrorist is another man's freedom fighter. When we look at, I guess, specifically Hamas and Hezbollah, the U.S. government considers them terrorists. Do you consider Hamas and Hezbollah to be terrorist groups?
We stand by everything that our country stands by. There's no doubt about it. We're not necessarily a political organization. We are one that calls for justice and calls for the support of just causes, and the Palestinian cause in our eyes is a just cause. These people are under occupation who have their freedoms restored. Now when it comes to the realm of organizations and positions, whether it's political or otherwise, we are Americans. We stand by the positions of our government very clearly. Now we do have a way to engage in dialogue and to shape foreign policy in the best way we can, and we will do it. I will train my children to be able to become congressmen and senators and, God willing, president. And they will do their best to make sure that a just policy exists in the United States, not because it takes care of my people of my country or people who are of the same origin that I have, but because I believe it is best for America. I am looking for what's best for America in the world, in the Muslim world, back home. We have to have the conscious, the clear conscience and the even-handed policy in the Middle East. So clearly, in that position, I will invest every effort I have to ensure that that's how it's shaped.